How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about a little item that's going to appear in patch 10.1 and everybody is going to know what this item is very quickly. We're going to be talking about the Dracothyst gem. Now this primarily is going to be used by, or made by alchemists I should say, which is why I'm on the PTR now and why I'm on the alchemist. It's a transmute. This seems to be the only at least confirmed way of generating these in patch 10.1. And these Dracothysts are going to be super duper mega important. You've either clicked on this video because you're planning ahead for 10.1 or you're in 10.1 and you're trying to figure out a little bit more about these. So the Dracothyst is going to be a new transmute. It's a one-a-day click-a-button transmute, but it's going to be a really crucial item for pretty much anybody looking to play around with crafting in 10.1. The main reason for this being is because the Dracothyst is one of the ingredients that goes into your crafting upgrade tokens. If we take a little bit of a look on Wowhead, just real quickly, we can take a look at the Dracothyst and you can see its use is in many places. You can use a Dracothyst in multiple places, some of them being more important than others. The two that we really care about is these two, the Enchanted Aspect Shadowflame Crest and the Enchanted Worms Shadowflame Crest. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what's happening in patch 10.1, these are practically the same as your primal infusions and your concentrated primal infusions from patch 10.0. They're going to be the ticket for people to either craft a new piece of Season 2 crafted gear or to upgrade a Season 1 piece of gear. And as you can see, enchanters have got their finger in the pie for this. Those of you that also played Shadowlands will remember that enchanters were crucial in the manufacture of legendary items. Similar sort of process here. The way it differs from Season 1, patch 10.0, is that instead of just generate or farming up a bunch of this primal foci or primal focus and combining it into your primal infusion or combining it into your concentrated primal infusion, now you have to gather these crests. Crests will become very important. And then you have to give them to an enchanter first, with the addition of a few additional materials, and the enchanter will send you back an upgrade token. You can then take that upgrade token, and you can send that to your local blacksmith, tailor, whoever, whoever's crafting your gear for you. This is going to be the upgrade, the optional upgrade item that is going to be needed to increase the item level of your gear. Most of this will make a lot of sense to you once we're in patch 10.1. But the reason I'm drawing attention to Dracothyst is it's needed every single time somebody upgrades or crafts a new piece of gear, at least at heroic or mythic item level bandings. Now, these Dracothysts, because they are also tied back to a daily cooldown through alchemy, there is there's a limit there, isn't there? There's a limit to how many of them can ever be created. And so this is going to spur a lot of people to consider picking up alchemy just purely to beeline to this recipe. So let's talk about it a little bit more. We can see it here on screen. We can see that it takes 300 Zaralek glow spores, which is a new material that is farmed up by herbalists and miners over in the new zone. And it also takes 50 silken gem dust. Now, if you've been playing patch 10.0.7, you'll be aware that silken gem dust spiked in price quite heavily. It jumped up in price because everybody needed, if I remember correctly, 150 of it to make their ring from the 10.0.7 zone. Everybody is aware of silken gem dust. Jewel crafters are doing a fantastic job supplying huge amounts of this on the market for you to be able to purchase. Going into 10.1, this is going to be no different. So jewel crafters are still going to be eating very well. Dracothyst, though, using 300 Zaralek glow spores, this is a lot. This is a big number. We did some testing recently on the glow spores to try and give you an indication of sort of pricing for this. I was only realistically able to get a few hundred glow spores an hour on my herbalist and miner. Now, testing this sort of stuff on the PTR is never great because it doesn't always show a strong representation of how the game will feel when the game goes live. No competition farming, nobody resetting nodes. It certainly wasn't perfect by any means. Not to mention my herbalist and miner is in a terrible shape. They're really not very specialist at what they do. But I'm going to go by the thought process here of that it's going to take a single herbalist and miner about 1 hour to generate enough Zaralek glow spores for a single alchemist to press their button every day to get one of these. This leads me to believe that these Dracothysts are going to be quite expensive. Really, really quite expensive. Some people in the community, myself included, have also been considering these very similar to the Progenitor Essentia from patch 9.2, for those of you that played in Shadowlands as well. Progenitor Essentia kind of had this mystique about it that people didn't really know how to value it. And before it was really super useful, it was being sold for 5,000 to 10,000 gold a piece. And then all of a sudden, when people needed it like crazy to craft legendaries, the value of it absolutely went through the roof. My suspicion, early day suspicion, is that Dracothysts might end up doing something similar. I would not be overly surprised if in the first week of patch 10.1 that we see Dracothysts on the auction house for anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 gold a piece. These are going to be quite expensive items, purely because it's nearly an hour's worth of work for a single herbalist and miner just to gather up the glow spores. When you think about the manual labor that needs to go into making something, even if you're not doing it yourself, somebody else has. And at the beginning of the patch, your time is precious, and anybody that is spending time going out farming new materials usually wants to be paid handsomely for it. So my suspicion is these Dracothysts are going to be quite expensive to begin with. 5,000 to 10,000 gold, I tend to think, is a relatively conservative number. I'm sure if you're watching this in patch 10.1 already, you'll be able to, write in the comments how ridiculous they've ended up in value. But I wanted to draw people's attention to it today, at least get people prepared for it, and try and give you a little bit more of a heads up about it. If you are looking to make multiple alchemists to be able to press this button on multiple characters every single day, there's a couple of things you need to know. The recipe itself is relatively easy to get, but there are a few things you need to do first. My recommendation personally is to get your alchemy leveled up as high as you can. You also want a multi-craft tool. This is going to be super duper mega important for you because you only get to press the button once a day. You want to make that button press as powerful as possible. So if you have the ability to, maybe if you're watching this before 10.1, do some pre-planning here. Get your alchemist a multi-craft tool and get it as high as quality as you possibly can. Realistically, this shouldn't be too much like hard work nowadays. You can put in a personal work order, maybe even put a public work order out there and get your alchemist's brilliant mixing rod made now. You don't need much in terms of skill in alchemy if you want to do this on an alt. I think you only need 50 alchemy skill to learn the recipe. But where do you get the recipe from? If you hover over the tooltip in game, you'll see it's sold in the Zaralek Cavern, but it seems to have this weird cost. That cost is 1 Ponzo cream. Without giving too many spoilers away for patch 10.1 content, in the new zone, you are in the Zaralek Caverns. In the main capital city of the Zaralek Caverns is where you'll find a bunch of profession vendors. And there is an alchemy vendor called Misty, just chilling around the main central location. And Misty is going to sell you this transmute Dracothyst for 1 Ponzo cream. What is a Ponzo cream and where do we get a Ponzo cream from? Well, Ponzo creams are purchased from a guy called Ponzo, believe it or not. He is also chilling over in this new city. And this is part of the bartering system. The bartering system in patch 10.1 is basically, just exchanging one currency for another, realistically. But through your travels in the new zone, you'll slowly start to acquire these barter bricks. These barter bricks act as the currency for 10.1 patterns and recipes and can be traded in at 25 bricks for a single Ponzo cream. Now, how do you unlock this, though? Unlocking this is done through the new renown. There's a new renown path. Unfortunately, on this character, I've flown straight here, so I can't actually show you it in much detail. But once you hit renown 3, which you'll do probably on your first day of hitting patch 10.1, renown 3 is very, very quick and easy to get to. You unlock this bartering system, and after a couple of simple introduction requests, this NPC becomes available for you. Barter bricks, in terms of acquiring the barter bricks, these are mostly found via just farming treasures in the new zone. So a little bit of time and effort flying around and you'll pick some of these up. Additionally, some of the intro quests do give you some barter bricks. I think you can probably get about 20 or so barter bricks really quickly and easily. So if you're trying to get that one Ponzo cream to unlock your transmute on day 1, it shouldn't take you too much effort. But there we go. I will kind of keep it a little bit shorter and sweeter for this one if possible. I know I've probably talked a lot more than I should do in this video, but I hope it's useful information for you. Be aware of this if nothing else, that Dracothysts are coming and they're likely to be expensive. And it's something that you really want to be paying attention to. And I'm hopefully you can use some of the additional information in here. Smart goblins out there will have very quickly realized that, hang on, farming those glow spores is going to be bigger business in the first week or so, and I think that is probably a very sensible conclusion to come to. I'll be putting out some more information on how to farm the glow spores in the next few days, so make sure you hit the like button for this video and hit the subscribe button to make sure that you are first in queue to watch the new videos that go live. But thank you all for watching. Hope that was useful. I will see you all next time, boys and girls. Have a good one. Peace.